Wow, what an honor. I forgot about a lot of that stuff. Kind of like a Seinfeld episode about the rental car, though, isn't it? Remember that? Any Seinfeld people here? Anyway, I tell you, what a humbling honor to be here tonight and being honored in this manner. And I want to thank Debbie and Steve and Bob Fraley and everybody that has everything to do with this banquet tonight. I really appreciate it. And, what a great way to cut your teeth on college coaching and have a couple guys like this, though. Makes it pretty hard to fail. And it's kind of one of those things where, you think of, some of the different things that, I have to go back here. I was asked to speak at the Michigan Clinic in February, and they told me I could speak on, they wanted me to have about 6 or 7 different topics on the pole vault, which I find pretty easy to do because I usually speak at a clinic and never really feel like I even touch the surface on things I would like for coaches to know and be able to express. And so when I started thinking about all the different things that's happened in my career, and especially things that were kind of humorous, the one experience I remember was at the 87 World Indoor Championships, I believe it was, in Indianapolis. They also had sort of a meet to prepare for kind of a tune-up meet for the NCAAs, and these 2 guys were jumping, and we had some jumpers there too, and because I coached the jumping events, I didn't just coach the pole vault only. And so we got the room at the last minute, and there really were no rooms, and we had, I don't know how many guys we had in the room, but it was like maybe 8 people or so in one room. It was in the Embassy Suites. How many stories was that? 20 something? I don't know. It was really high. But it was kind of a cylinder. And we were up on pretty close to the top floor. I slept between 4 chairs. At the dining table we had in there, everybody had beds or couch, and I had 4 chairs that I kind of pulled out and made it into a bed, and that's what I was going to sleep on. Anyway, we're wired that they just finished jumping. They watched the World Indoor Championships, and we actually finished about 11:30, or maybe it was 12. So we got back in kind of late. But these guys are still kind of wired. I'm wanting them to go to sleep, and they're walking around, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, what am I going to do? I can't let them walk around. So I'm laying there trying to sleep, and Scott and Pat, they weren't in the room, and I'm thinking, oh gosh. And of course, these guys are kind of guys you trusted. You really didn't worry about them. But, at least I had to go see what was going on. So I step out, and I see Scott or Pat, I forget which, they have these airplanes. I think Pat bought, he's a mechanical engineer, he bought some airplanes, gliders, and he's launching them off the railing there, and it's just floating down the Embassy Suites down towards the lobby. Oh man, we're going to get in trouble. I'm going to hear about this, and I look down, and there's 2 security policemen with their watches timing the gliders as they're coming down to see how long they would just stay in flight. And but these are the kind of guys that would do stuff like that, would convince the security guards that was a good idea. And so it was a blast to work with these guys, and it's kind of one of those things I feel like I just have had a very blessed career. When I started I started at Cape Central High School at the first, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and I coached there for 2 years, and it was kind of one of those things I thought, boy, I'd really like to get up in the Kansas City area because they're more competitive. And I coached all the jumps, long, triple jump, high jump, pole vault, and I thought, boy, it'd be great to get up there because down where we were at, jumping 14 feet, that was great. But up in Kansas City, it was a little bit tougher. So, and that was the day before I went to the state meet with a few guys. And the very next thing, I was talking to a coach at Raytown South High School, and he said, you know what? He said, and our team ended up taking 3rd place for the first time ever, the team that I was with. We had lots of jumps there and the vaulters, but he said, you know, if we could get your field event team together with our running event team, boy, we'd have a good track team. I said, yeah, that would be great. He said, you looking for a job? And I said, well, yeah. So I went up, got the job, and I was there at Raytown South for 7 years, and guys were, you know, just a great group of kids to work with, very motivated, kind of hard to fail, but, you know, it was a lot of work. But anyway, you know, it was kind of the same thing. And I remember watching, you guys remember the movie Running Brave? Garrett and I, my son, we go watch Running Brave, and it's about, you know, Billy Mills, the American Indian, Native American runner that ran at University of Kansas. And a lot of it was kind of a Kansas history. And as we're walking out of there, I said, Garrett, what would you think if your dad coached at University of Kansas, which was 30 miles away from us? He said, that'd be pretty cool, Dad. And we walk on, and it was probably a month later, I get a phone call from Bob Timmons to ask me to go to the University of Kansas. And so it's funny how these things work. And obviously at one point while I was at KU, which I loved, I was kind of looking at going to to another university, and after our kids were kind of out of college, and it's kind of one of those same things, you know, where I was looking at the possibility of going somewhere out west. And I just, you know, and I told Stephanie the night before if I had my choice of schools I would go to, I kind of have a list of about 2 or 3. And I told her what that list was. And the very next day, the number 1 on the list, the athletic director at University of Nebraska calls up, said, you know what? Says, I hear you're kind of looking around for a job, and says, I think we may have a job for you. So that's sort of how my career's kind of happened. You know, it's just kind of when you think about what you would really like to do, things just kind of fall in place. But, you know, like I said, I've enjoyed a great career, and I'm not done. I'm the head track coach at Blue Valley North High School in Overland Park, Kansas, where I've had some really great pole vault coaches. On and off, I've worked with the vaulters there for probably 5 of the 10 years I've been there. But I've had one of my vaulters All-Americans that I had at University of Nebraska, coached them for a while. Now I have another great guy. He and I kind of share the vault and all 4 jumps together. So still working with it. And Doug Lytle just asked me to kind of take over his training facility in Kansas City for vaulters in the off season, and that's what I'm doing. So it's great to kind of have some really motivated kids again, because it's not always easy to work at one school and really have a lot of motivated kids. So you have these kids who are wanting to come to a club to train in the winter. That's a blast. So I've been enjoying that a lot. But anyway, again, I appreciate it, and I look forward to coming back and seeing some of the future inductees. And anyway, enjoy the summit. Thank you.